You know, there are plenty of people that respect me that are better looking than you. I want to go off topic a little bit. I probably won't make this a long video, but then again, I've said that, and then some videos have turned out to be 20 minutes long. So I don't know. Invariably, somebody's going to ask me, what's my favorite board game? Well, it's a game I don't own, but I do own Antiquity, which is what a lot of people consider a grail game. And I own one of the starter kits for Advanced Squad Leader. I have starter kit 3, which a lot of other people consider a grail game. But ASL is kind of a game system where you can build upon it, and you're essentially fighting the entire World War II. Once you get all the sets together, it costs like $3,000. I'm not kidding you. Like, the one I bought cost like $30. And Antiquity is just a fun game where you're going around kind of mining resources. The perfect game has got to be 1978's Magic Realm. Because what you're doing is you're going around mining resources, kind of like you are in Roads and Boats, which is another game from Splatter Spellin that is, to me, juicier than Antiquity, the other game that they make. And I don't own Roads and Boats either, but I've researched it to where it's like, I need to buy this game. I eventually will. It's probably like, yeah, it's like $130 now. It needs to drop to like $100 before I'd buy it. And of course, Advanced Squad Leader is that too. So Magic Realm is a bit like you're mining resources and then going to war with like fantasy creatures. So it's like Advanced Squad Leader meets Roads and Boats, which makes it the perfect board game. I'm taking some time to sort of build a game like that. I'm putting a lot of research into it. I built like 9 games last year, and they were all okay, but they weren't really what I was going for. I think my best success was Cafeteria Uprising, but it's still not exactly what I want to make. What I would like to make is something along the lines of Magic Realm. So, in the game that I'm designing, you have to create the resources in order to make bread, alcohol, and cheese. And all the plants are marijuana based or hemp based, so it's kind of neat in that way. And the animals will be some sort of like alien critter. Like there's going to be something that is a snake that is combined with a gorilla that gives milk, and also you can eat the eggs. So what I mean is, like, you're getting the resources to build bread, alcohol, and cheese, but you also have to eat to live, right? So you have to use meat and eggs and milk and alcohol and cheese to eat, and you can eat plants. So you're building sort of an engine, and the idea is kind of like with Roads and Boats, where you control a tile, but you can go to another tile and control it. As soon as it's completed its requirements for being a completed tile, you will get a farmer that has a gun that can go attack another tile. So if a tile is kind of completed and you jump in and complete that tile before the other player, because you can bounce around between the tiles, right? You have to gather water, you can go to another tile. There's going to be, I haven't decided if I want 9 or 16 like tiles, but it'll be something around that. I'm kind of experimenting in my mind between 9 and 25. I'm trying to get it to 9, but I want the game to be big and epic, to where it could last between 3 to 6 hours. So I'm looking at Magic Realm, I'm looking at Roads and Boats, I'm looking at Antiquity, I'm looking at Advanced Squad Leader, but I feel like I'm not quite there yet because I want to add an element of economics, so I have to look at games like Brussels and Lisboa and Tapestry in order to really complete this idea in my mind. So the game that I'm designing is potentially called Cheesemongers, but I could change that name, and the base of that could be the bread and the alcohol and stuff like that, but it could completely change it to something different and be called something different. By looking at these games, I'm thinking that I probably won't even be completed with the storyboarding in order to build it for another 2 years. And I'm not going to work on any other games until this one is completed. So you might see my game in 2022 or 2023.
Remember Ron Halford? Dude, he sounded like a total straight guy, you know what I mean? But man, he likes the cock. So maybe when I'm sounding like a dude and not a queen, you could just say I'm a cocksucker. I don't know. But what's he gonna say? Oh well, you know, okay. So I went to First Avenue. I don't know why I'm on the headphones.
I went to First Avenue, Lucky Leaf, and I got a tube of marijuana. Because I got some money out today. I had a 75 that I could just pull, so I pulled that. It's this fucking shit right here. This is the bomb when it comes to like opening you up conversationally. This is called Grape Purple Soda. A nice little corked end. Yeah, I broke it. I'm probably going to throw it away anyway. I'd usually keep something that's nice, but I don't really have any place to store it and break in my pack. It had like this stripe. I'm not kidding you. Like this stripe of thick stripe a little bit down from the cherry end. Just coated in like the shape. And that was intentional. Like it was all gussied up and wrapped up, but like they had this stripe with the marijuana coating on it. She had to pull it out of this like special bin. I was like, what's your most expensive joint? And I was looking for a cellophane paper one, and she couldn't find one. And then she pulled out this like black paper. I don't think First Avenue. I don't think. I don't go there as often, but I'm starting to go there more because they're closer to where I live. Lucky Leaf. It's on my fucking lighter. Lucky Leaf. They don't carry a lot of cellophane, but they got some nice shit there. I'm not gonna lie, they have some cheap ass stuff that's pretty good. Like a $3.40 joint. Cinder has more cellophane, and I like the cellophane. I usually get paper because it's cheaper, but the cellophane is rock star. It'll burn just evenly. And she looked for like a good 10 minutes for cellophane, and she couldn't find it. So she just pulled out this one that was like $15 and it had a black wrap. I almost bought the blunt because I've never gotten a blunt at a dispensary. I forget that shit. Like, why don't I ever buy a blunt? I need to buy a blunt the next time. That's my agreement with First Ave, if I remember. I'm going to buy a goddamn blunt. But this is glass. I don't want to find out. It might actually be like a really good Pyrex or good plastic or something. I'll probably just throw that away, but there's like some bud in that. I'll just leave that somewhere, I think, and somebody will collect that. I usually like leave my roaches in places where they can be accessed by people they don't have. Why not? You know, I don't really keep my roaches like putting out there. Mitten cake batter. This is a raw paper Virginia Co. pre-roll. The raw paper's nice. It's probably the most durable kind of see-through-y paper. 2 grams, so it's 2 joints. The joints are about 1 gram.
I wasn't too satisfied. I told her that I was not satisfied with what I got last time. And that was the first time I've never been satisfied. It was the potency that I got, this little box of things, was like $10 for 2 joints, but they were too short. And I really wanted them longer. They were good and potent, it's just, they were too short for me. You know, it was like smoking 1 joint for $10. And I really wanted 2, and I know I can get some for like 8 and some change. I did get that $15 joint. That's that grape soda. That'll open you up conversationally without really giving you too much anxiety from what I'm seeing of that. This stuff, that is an indica primary. I might have to get a pure indica again and see what that's like. Sativas make me kind of jumpy, but indicas kind of make me chill, and I like that. I like the whole experience. I like hybrids the best. THC content is 31. THCA. CBD, nothing. CBD, cannabinoids, 31.63. Harvested 3/13, so 2 days ago. 27.19. No, not 2 days ago. Harvested 3/13. That's today. Shit, this was harvested today, motherfucker. Spokane, Washington. They must grow it in Spokane. I don't know why they would call it Virginia Go. And Kush. Oh, it's got a little Kush in it. Mint cake and Kush mints. I got it because it's the mint in it, you know. And I also like the cake batter. So it might be a little cake battery, a little minty. I'm looking forward to finding that out. Aeroponic flour. I just get pre-rolls, you know what I'm saying, man? Because, like, I'm usually out walking, living at the shelter, and I just go for a walk or go to my spot and smoke a pre-roll. There's a couple spots that I go to. I don't do the pipe because it's too much to clean. It might give off smell, and I don't want to keep it in my pack. I just get what I get and smoke it that day. I've spent as little as $3 and gotten high. Washington State's great with weed. So, hey, yeah, why don't I go ahead and just open this bitch up? You don't like that a white guy says nigga? Somebody said that she didn't like that a white guy said nigga. Like, are you dating me, though? Are you going to have sex with me? Are you going to go out with me? Well, I'm going to try not to say it as much, because it does offend some black chicks. But you're all out there, like, fucking the white girls and, like, not sharing the hookup at all when it comes to women. So I don't really care, nigga. Like, have the hookup, bro. Homie? What do I call you to get a hookup with a chick out there? I'm not doing that with damn heroin. That's for damn sure. I don't care what you do. So, the raw paper's good. I like the thick, nice, big size. I don't like those little stubby things. Why? I mean, I can get someone just as powerful with, like, the same high with a longer smoke that's like $10 for a... This was $10 for this tube of 2, but then I got a box last week that was 2. Same kind of potency to me, but shorter. Like, this is like twice as much. I don't know if you can do this at Cinder, but you can definitely do it at Lucky Leaf, where you can buy an ounce of joints for $90. So I might do that one day. I don't have to smoke it all, like, quickly. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it and I won't tell you when I do it. So I'll smoke all my weeder today. I'm sure of it. I'm going to hit this one up. Mitten cake. Indica dominant with a little, what is it called? Kush mints. That's why I bought it. It's because of that Kush mints. That sounded good. It's got a little minty tinge to it. And I like the birthday cake. You know, when that birthday cake ice cream came out, motherfucker. Like, that was something to me where I had a long discussion with myself whether or not that was better than chocolate chip mint.
So that birthday cake batter ice cream is dank. This tastes different from anything that I've ever smoked. It's grassy. Like it doesn't feel chemically. You know, like real grassy. Like this is like some ganja. Kind of feels like Rasta a little Rasta. Real kind of grassy, like mowed grass. I like this. This is really pure. The one that I smoked a little while ago, that grape soda joint, it was like a brown paper, and it didn't really taste like anything. It didn't really have much of a taste to it, but it kind of like woke me up. And I did without anxiety. It just woke me up and made me conversational with that guy who gave me those pair of shoes. I almost gave him a joint, man. Like, he just hooked me up with some shoes. 13. Been looking for 13. I was going to go to the Lutherans, but I kind of doubt that they'd be open because of the shit. But ended up with some good old shoes that are new to me. Dirty, I don't like it. So, I mean, like, if you were my lady and you're 420 friendly, I mean, I usually end up buying, like, at least 3 or 4 pre-rolls a week. It's about an eighth for 4 of this size. 4 of these, this size is about an eighth. And the battery might be kind of a little low, so I'm going to just cut it simple and plain. Like, right now, I could probably afford to go to Denmark for 3 days. Get a hooker, and then get it out of my system, and get back home. I'd have enough money to do that. But that's not really what I want. Oh, Christians. 99% of you are the meanest people I've ever met. You worship money. You use money to manipulate little college girls into going out with you. You exercise a culture of greed through supporting 2 political parties that don't give a fuck about the people and only give a fuck about the money. I'm down here at a homeless shelter with an EBT card, but no, you seem to really hate the money and power until it comes down to you, Gen Z girls. You're age phobic, which means you're hateful. Whenever you try to talk to me, you have boyfriends already. But you never try to approach me when you're single. You guys withhold the phone numbers. You're not forgiving, understanding, respectful, compassionate, or kind towards me. You hate atheists like Hitler hated the Jews. And I fail to see your redeeming value. Where are the women at? Seems to be your greed. Seems to be your hate. Seems to be your lack of compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. Yeah, that's all in your Bible to do. But even on the left wing, huh? Sure, laugh and do nothing. That seems to be your philosophy. Where are the women at? Pretty sad when the women flock to $1 rather than a penny while preaching from the pulpit of Bernie Sanders. Where are the women at? I had one girlfriend that was like a year older than me. I had one girlfriend that was like 2 years older than me. I had a girlfriend that was 18 years older than me. And I had a girlfriend that was 12 years older than me. The one that was 12 years older than me, I dated when I weighed 400 pounds and she weighed 300 pounds. So I've never really been an age phobe, and I've never really been a ageist, and I've never really been a weightist. So that's not the problem. The one that was 2 years older than me and the one that was 12 years older than me were both Christians, and I'm an atheist. The 18-year-old, or I'm sorry, not the 18-year-old, the one that was 18 years older than me was like Buddhist agnostic, but she was white. So I've never been a religionist. I was with one girl for a little while, a couple of days, that was homeless. That was years ago. We took a bath together. That was really the only thing. She was clean. She didn't do drugs. She may have had schizophrenia, but I've never really been an ableist. Like the cute college chicks are still beautiful. I mean, all these women I consider beautiful. So, you know, I've dated women that were like almost as old as my mom, and I've dated women that were my own age. From the age of like 16, I kind of had a little bit of a girlfriend when I was 18 for a couple weeks, and then I moved to Olympia with my friend. We didn't really do anything. We hung out, and I went to a bonfire together, and I held her in my arms. That was about it. It was sweet, but it wasn't really long lasting. She was a little younger than me. She wasn't really a girlfriend, but she was definitely just like a fling. There was nothing sexual really. It was just like cuddling at a bonfire. So I've never really been ageist that way either. The first real crush that I had in high school, she was 2 years younger than me, but we didn't date. We made out one time. She was half Latin, half white, so I've never really been a racist. My fling that I had in like 2014, she was black, and we just hung out one night and didn't really do much. I mean, she got naked. I didn't get naked, but I did. You know, I pleased her. It didn't really work out for some reason. I don't know. We just kind of lost contact. Things happen. So I tried to date somebody that was 30 when I was like 38, and it was okay. It was a good friendship. I bought her sushi a lot, and I took her to Churchill's one time when I had some college disbursement money. She was good looking and tall. She was actually taller than I was, so I've never really been a heightist. And I've dated women that are shorter than me. She already had kids already, and that was not really what I wanted. I didn't really want to become a step parent, even though I support them. I had step parents that are great half the time. They're just like my normal parents that were married in my family. That's kind of how I consider my four parents. You know what I mean? They're not bad people. It's not like the wicked stepmother archetype or anything like that, or wicked stepfather. Nothing like that. It wasn't. I mean, they were never drunk. They were like never real unkind. Always real nice. Always treated us like their own kids. They're still alive. I mean, my step parents treated us with the same respects as they would their own children. But like 18 to 24 is the most fertile, and if you're going to be a bigot about it and call me a bitch, you're the bitch. To me, it seems to me that it's coming down to money and your manipulation and your willingness to be manipulated. Usually people that insult me over the internet, I look at their profile picture and it's like, ew. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't date you anyway because you have that attitude problem towards me. If you can't come in being nice to me, then we don't have a friendship, so we don't have a relationship. I don't deal well with you throwing shit at me. I roast people over the internet, but I don't specifically roast specific people, you know what I mean? So, like, if you come at me roasting me as I'm roasting, you're trying to be in my position, and opposites attract. You know what I mean? Like, If you're funny, that's fine. But if you're like if you're like me, then it's not good. My typical chick would be like young, friendly, happy-go-lucky, like a cute nurse level of attraction when it comes to looks, but not necessarily. Sometimes some of those alternative chicks have a different exotic beauty to them. I'm not really a racist. I can't think of one nationality or culture that I just find unattractive. I've met white girls that are attractive, black girls, and everything in between that are attractive. The issue is if you come in being mean to me and can't realize that I'm a comedian and you are hurtful towards me, then we don't have a friendship, so we can't develop that into a relationship. If you call me a broke bitch, I'll call you a money worshiper bitch. If you call me bitch boy, I'll call you bitch girl. It doesn't work that way. We are not friends. You have to respect me in order for me to respect you. You do not come in with anger and hate. You know what I mean? Towards me. You can be mad at something, and that's fine. And you can be sad and depressed, and I'm fine with that. But if you come in like pitching me shit, then it's not a friendship. Because you're trying to be the comic that I am. You are being a carbon copy of me, and opposites attract. That whole birds of a feather thing, kind of. I mean, you have to be a nice person. You have to be someone that doesn't start in with the what about you shit, the finger waving. Because to me, you just look and sound like a Republican. And the Democrats and the Republicans are kind of the same thing to me. It just, you come in with any kind of disrespect, the friendship will not start. I don't have any diseases. It's all in my new chart at the hospital. I can get it with an access to an email. Why would I prove it to you? You just talk shit all the time. Do I owe you something? I don't think so. You know who the biggest leeches are in the world? Billionaires. You give them money for corporate subsidies, and then they sock it away and don't spend it. Unlike when you give money to the poor, they spend it in order to survive. It's like, what's the real welfare queens here, right? I don't know how many times I got to say this, but I don't really agree with capital punishment. Our state, Washington, got rid of it while Inslee's in office. Somebody could come back and put it in, but he has a lien on it while he's governor. So, yeah. When you have capital punishment, crime doesn't really go down. When you have states without capital punishment, you actually see crime going down. It's happened in every state where they got rid of capital punishment. The capital punishment crimes, usually murder or treason. Usually, like if you murder people, they'll give you capital punishment. But when we remove capital punishment in every state, we see an end to the appeals process, which costs taxpayers a bunch of money. And you never see Republicans supporting an end of capital punishment. You do see Democrats, which is perhaps one good quality of some Democrats. The biggest mental health issue that I have is bipolar. I don't have a diagnosis of schizophrenia. So whatever you heard from my mom, you're hearing from somebody that has been in rehab for alcoholism and popping pills. She's kind of a ditz. I love her to death, but she's kind of a ditz. And there's no... I'm not saying that she's not intelligent. What I'm saying is she says stuff that just is not true. Most of my anger, when I have anger, once or twice a week, is because of political stuff. We're the Republicans, and I agree, is that liberals are kind of like pea pants and they cancel culture people, and they do stuff that we find annoying, like getting upset over the word retard when they're not upset over the word idiot or stupid. But where we disagree is with the capitalist system. So I guess that makes me a communist. But it also makes me an anarchist, because I feel like that we don't need politicians. I feel like we could have a direct democracy. And I could talk to these guys just as easily as I could talk to the blacks. They do understand a lot of stuff that we on the left do understand that Democrats just don't get. So I have friends that are like libertarian and Republican, and I have friends that are black and non-white. Where I have a problem is with a lot of people that are like self-absorbed, and people that run their what about you stuff, and people that are hypocritical, and people that won't acknowledge their own problems. I'll freely do that all day. If you want to make me do an hour video of where I list my problems with myself, easily enough done. But that's not my purpose. When you do that, when you do the self-deprecation thing, people kind of look at you as like a Eeyore or a self-pitying person, and I don't want to appear like that. For everything bad about me, I can look at the positive point of like, I'm overweight, right? I weigh 250 pounds. That's definitely like 70 pounds overweight, but I used to weigh 400, so I can be there navel-gazing, calling myself a fat ass, or an idiot that I waited so long to go to college. But you have to think, how is that really going to be helpful towards me or other people? I could talk about my mistakes that I've made all day, but like the lack of self-love is something that a lot of people have, and we don't need that. What we need is to care about others, but we also need to care about ourselves. Human beings are a work in progress. I like kids, I like older people, I like animals, and I like plants. I've never yelled at a dog or a cat, you know what I'm saying? And they're a more complex life form than a plant. I have been mad enough to yell at a plant. I understand that feeling of trying to grow a little plant and how hard it is to grow a plant, a pot. I don't understand how people are gardeners, because that stuff seems really difficult to me. I don't understand how my stepmom and my dad make salsa and like grow all the vegetables. I don't understand how they have the patience to do that. I have no patience when it comes to plants. I love them and I eat them, but I have no patience when it comes to like growing them. Now, if you give me a dog or a cat, that's easy. That dog or a cat is going to live like 12 to 20 years and be a happy animal. So my reasoning with wanting to have kids is that if a dog is more complex than a plant, and I got a hard time raising plants. I had a hard time growing bacteria in the lab when I was taking my biology class. My fellow students kind of had to help me with that, because that stuff is difficult. But like reading to a kid or like taking care of a kid, by the logic that plants are difficult to grow and that dogs and cats are way more self-sufficient than a carrot or a dandelion, means that raising a kid for me might be a lot easier. Granted, I don't have a lot of money saved up, but I'll go back to school when I have a girlfriend, because I'm tired of like the college girls, like seriously, they were yelling like I love you at me. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna walk up because there's a boyfriend there. You want to talk to me when you have a boyfriend? Only when you have a boyfriend? Really? I think I'll wait until you grow up and stop doing that, because that's rude. Only when you have a boyfriend? Yeah. I don't consider myself an incel, because incels kind of feel like they're owed a girlfriend. What I said is, if you want to be mature towards me and you're young enough to where you're the most fertile range, then I would date you. If you're nice to me and you are not someone that I feel like is childish, or someone that I feel like is perhaps maybe even racist or bigoted, then you have a chance. If you're a beautiful person, then you have a chance. I'm more of a Volcel. I'm voluntarily celibate because of the age range that I want is 18 to 24. And I don't want somebody to look at me like I need money in order to be dateable. I don't need somebody that runs the hater stuff at me in order to get my attention, because that's the stuff where I walk away. It's the whole toxic person shit and like the what about you shit towards me that I cannot stand. You come up to me like you're my mom or my little sister or something, it's a problem. So I just walk away from it, because it's better than arguing with somebody that I don't know or that is mean-spirited and I don't know. Like, if you worship money you're a Democrat or a Republican, then we do have a problem. If you're for Bernie Sanders, but you won't date a guy that lives in a homeless shelter, then I view you as a hypocrite. If you're a guy that's got a lot of women and your first conversation with me is not something about how to meet beautiful women and have a date with them or to hang out with them or whatever the bull is, then I view you as kind of like you're a Republican. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is bad for our friendship. If you're beautiful but unkind, if you're kind but I don't find you physically attractive, if you're not like a cute looking college age chick, then it's not really gonna be a date because I want to have kids one day and your progesterone is high enough to where the eggs are healthy enough and all this stuff. So, like, you running the age phobia bigotry at me is not fair, so I'm not gonna listen to you. If you say stuff to me along the lines of I'm too poor or I'm too old, that's a blockable offense right off the bat. If you say stuff to me that is stuff that haters say that's all lies, that's a way to lose me. If you run with rumors, you're basically just like a 15-year-old, and that's all bad for me. So until you come along to my way of thinking, it doesn't matter to me what you believe. It depends on how you are. If you're like, well, no, well, what about you? Well, that's you. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to be your enemy, but I'm not here to be your acquaintance either. I would rather leave. If you come up to me and start like, he's a really gross person, you're looking at me, talking about me, that's a way for me to leave. If you come up to me like greedy, with you withholding the phone numbers of the women, if you gotta talk shit about me, that's a way for me to leave. These are all things that where this happens on the internet, I just block you because I don't want to be around toxic people. If you're like accusing me of stuff that's not true, if you're accusing me of stuff that I know that it would take a 30-second conversation to defeat because you're being mean, that's all stuff to where I would identify as a volcel, not an incel. I don't feel like I'm owed a girlfriend. I feel like the most it would come to with owing the girlfriend is that I feel that the government and the mental health agencies should look into this problem and should look into, as a source of mental wellness, a dating service ran by the mental health agencies that does not only include mentally ill people. It would be people that volunteer for this service that are not ableist. People that... see, that's kind of my problem with liberals, is like they'll look and they'll like, oh, you know, they have a physical deformity and they met another person with a physical deformity and then they got married and were happy. Well, you're not dating the person that's different. You're just cheering them on. That's your hypocrisy. You're there like at college talking about how the capitalist system sucks, and I agree, but are you lining up at House of Charity to meet guys? No. I shower every day and I don't have any diseases. That's on my new chart that I could pull up as soon as you want to go on a date with me. But if I need to do that, if I need to pose money, you're not really the Bernie Sanders type. You know what I mean? I have $1,000 saved up. That could be date money, but you have to treat me with respect. Otherwise, I'm not going to treat you with respect. And it doesn't mean like if you yell at me, I'm going to yell at you. What it means is like if you are mean towards me, I'm going to walk away and go do something else. I'd rather be alone than deal with your shit thrown at me. I think a lot of people need to practice self-love. And there are a lot of people that need to practice love towards others. And that is a problem that goes from the far left to the far right. We all need to practice those two things. Any kind of hatefulness at me is just going to get me to walk away. I don't know why you do it. It seems a little immature to me. Don't start with the what about you stuff on me. I could pull out your Bible and tell you how you're a hypocrite. I could bring up your political system and beliefs and tell you how you're a hypocrite. Like, if I have to do that, you're not really what I would call mature. Unsolicited advice is no better than an unsolicited pic of somebody's genitalia. That's your problem. It's the disrespect. Nobody asked you. Okay? Another problem I have is lack of forgiveness. Yeah, I got in trouble 8 years ago. I haven't had a girlfriend in 8 years because you keep running your hateful mouth. I have a domestic violence charge, but I wasn't violent towards her. You could pee around a corner in an alleyway these days and they'll give you a sexual exposure charge these days. I was not violent towards anybody. I was mad and left and stormed out. And the lack of forgiveness, yeah, you're not really a Christian. You're not. You're a believer, but you're not a Christian. But again, that's not really a requirement. Like if you don't forgive like little stuff, and you have to put me on blast and to embarrass me, again, your problem, not mine. I don't care if you're an atheist or Buddhist. If you're nice to me, you're nice to me. If you're mean to me, you're mean to me. And mean to me gets the problem to start. You provoking people into anger is the problem. Do you understand now? Mountains out of molehills, brothers and sisters. You're going to go over like a lead balloon with me. College chicks of Spokane, you tell me you support Bernie Sanders, but I live at the House of Charity. Prove to me that this isn't about money. Oh, you're age phobe. Ah, so you're hateful. Well, that goes against your religion and politics now, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.